Good evening and welcome to another exciting webinar by the Gulf Society for Maintenance and Reliability, GSMR. Today, we are pleased and honored to have with us Mr. Hussein Al-Ali and Mr. Nader Milibari, who will be our presenter and panelist for our webinar, which is called the GSMR Body of Knowledge, BoK, Maintenance, Reliability, and Asset Management. Our moderator for this evening is Ms. Rima Al-Gamdi. She is a young woman working in Saudi Aramco as a reliability engineer. Ms. Rima, I'm handing over the floor to you.
Assalamu alaikum. A very good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure today to be a moderator of this webinar. I am Rima Al-Ghamdi. I am a reliability engineer working with the corporate maintenance services in Saudi Aramco. First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone for allocating their time to attend this webinar. We hope you will learn a lot today from Mr. Hussein. First, Mr. Hussein is the chairman of Educational Certification Committee of GSMR, and he is a management professional with extensive experience in aluminum industry. Now, with much honor, I would like to call upon Mr. Hussein to deliver his presentation. So, Mr. Hussein, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, ladies. And Rima, I beg your pardon. And welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. We're so pleased to be participating in another exciting event, a webinar by GSMR, as there has been so many, part of our knowledge sharing campaign throughout the last couple of years with the virtual academy. So welcome all to this webinar, which is dedicated to give an overview of GSMR Body of Knowledge. What we're going to talk about, I'm going to, just so that we all start from the same page, a brief intro about GSMR, vision and mission, and then talk about Body of Knowledge and GSMR Body of Knowledge objectives, the launch of GSMR Body of Knowledge, the introduction, evolution, and then I will dive into the 5 pillars for GSMR Body of Knowledge, the 5 pillars that we eventually agreed to adopt the team who've worked for a good part of 18 months to develop this body of knowledge document. Ended up with 5 pillars. Pillar 1, maintenance, reliability, and asset management strategy. Pillar 2, asset reliability. Pillar 3, maintenance work processes. Pillar 4, systems and technologies. Pillar 5, people and leadership. And like with all other webinars, we will also have question and answer session at the end after the talk. And I'm very pleased to have with me the leader of our Body of Knowledge team, the guys who've developed this, Nader Milibari, to help during the panel discussions. So let's start about brief words about GSMR. Early 2008, 26 maintenance professionals identified the need to have a local entity to represent maintenance and reliability. The feeling at that time was that maintenance were considered as the underdogs in our industrial organizations. They're the doers, but when it comes to recognitions, they hardly get mentioned. So we felt that there was a need to elevate the professional entity of maintenance and reliability to the boardrooms, to the management levels, and we thought, what best other than to create our own society. And from that little get together from these professionals from around the Gulf, we now have what we have as GSMR. And I have certainly, and I'm sure you guys also have certainly seen the status and the acknowledgement of the role and importance of the maintenance, reliability, and asset management professionals for the industries, especially our type of industries, which are heavily depending on assets. 2010 established GSMR. At the time, it was called GSMP, Gulf Society of Maintenance Professionals. December 2010, believe it or not, in the same year of our inauguration, we held our first Middle East Maintenance and Reliability Conference, MAINTCON. Also, at that same time, we had our thoughts and aspiration to go global. And we were a founding member of the Global Forum for Maintenance and Asset Management, GFMAM. 2012, GSMP started delivering training and certification programs. 2014, expanded networking events like technical forums and technical exchange programs across the GCC countries. 2016, the reliability profession was officially included, and the society transformed to Gulf Society for Maintenance and Reliability. 2017, memos of understanding signed with all regional and international, well, some international societies as well, but regional, all the engineering societies in the GCC, we've had MOUs signed with them. 2018, introduction of GSMR Excellence Award and creation of Women in Industry and Asset Management YM Committee. Now, we all know how this gender equality and values that the women bring to the industry has been an important factor to recognize the growth and the development of societies, and we are honored and pleased to have our lady friends joining us in this pursuit of professional adaptation of the knowledge. 2020, launch of GSMR Strategic Accelerated Transformation Plan, including the Virtual Training Academy, and many training webinars have sprung from that initiative, as well as many training workshops were delivered virtually. Probably GSMR were amongst the first to take up the challenge of having to go virtual. 2021, the launch of GSMR Body of Knowledge. 2022, launch of Maintenance and Asset Reliability Certification. MARC is as the acronym for this certificate. We're going to talk a little bit about those two things in more details, the Body of Knowledge and MARC certification as we go along. Of course, our vision and missions, I'm going to share those with you, you know them, but obviously we wanted all the way from then and still do want to be considered as a reliable maintenance and reliability partner in the Gulf region. And alhamdulillah, our history, proud history, successful history, and aspirations for the future are all fruits of this hard work shown by the everybody else now. Everybody is participating in this growth. Our mission, sharing knowledge, exchanging best practices, providing training, facilitating professional certifications. All of these are assembled in the MARC certification and the Body of Knowledge. That is the topic of our subject tonight. So what is Body of Knowledge? Body of Knowledge is a complete set of concepts, terms, and activities that make up a professional domain and defined by the relevant learned societies and professional associations. It will serve as a structured knowledge base that is used by members of a discipline to guide their practice or work. It's a reference with core information, theories, and skills required to work in a particular organization or industry. So what is our GSMR body of knowledge objectives? Define the competency requirements for minimum knowledge in the field of maintenance, reliability, and asset management professionals to achieve performance excellence. That's what our industry organizations want. It's no longer acceptable from organizations to just get by. We have to aim high. We have to achieve performance excellence, and that's what GSMR have always been targeting to help organizations do. To offer a structured knowledge representation by GSMR to help professionals to adapt and apply maintenance, reliability, and asset management concepts, certify maintenance, reliability, and asset management professionals in the region, provide general reference and standardized knowledge and concepts in the maintenance, reliability, and asset management field. Now, before I jump into the next slide, I'm just wanting to highlight that developing the document is only the first task. Making sure that this document is actually applied in practice is another important task that we all have to participate in. So our efforts as GSMR does not end by developing the document. That is only the start. Yes, it took 18 months approximately. Yes, it was a lot of hard work. Almost weekly we were meeting to get that document together. But ladies and gentlemen, that's only the start. Now we need to transfer the knowledge that the body of knowledge embodies to the minds and hearts of everyone else who works in these fields, maintenance, reliability, and asset management. How do we do that? By explaining, promoting, delivering workshops, having exchanges, having webinars, having discussions that we all need to participate in. And it's important to emphasize the role of all. The launch. GSMR created history with the launch of its regional body of knowledge. First, not just for the society, but for our profession and the Arabian Gulf. The grand launch ceremony was 28 January and was attended by GSMR's Board of Directors, GSMR Body of Knowledge team, and top regional and global maintenance, reliability, and asset management. As I said, the launch and the document is only the start, ladies and gentlemen. We still, all of us, have a lot of work to do. GSMR playing its part. This is the start. Then we will have, during our flagship, the MAINCON conference, which I urge you, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, to register for it. So far, this has shown itself to be the biggest one. This is our number six MAINCON. We started, as I said earlier, in 2010, and we've been holding these conferences once every 2 years, except 2020 because of the pandemic. But this year, so far, proving to be the biggest. It has broken all the previous records in so many things. So I urge you, ladies and gentlemen, to be part of this exciting conference. We'd love to see you there. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have the exchange of knowledge and information between everyone in this field. So you're most welcome to register and join if you have not registered yet. On the introduction and evolution, as part of continued mission to share knowledge and exchange best practices, GSMR undertook the initiative to create its own body of knowledge to address the specific needs to support GCC professional leaders, organizations through focused, structured training, knowledge sharing programs leading to professional certification. GSMR Body of Knowledge offers focused guidance to individuals, leaders, managers, and service providers working in the field of maintenance, reliability, and asset management. Of course, maintenance, reliability, and asset management has evolved. Now, for those of you, ladies and gentlemen, who have been in the field for more than 30 years know that initially maintenance has been a reactive activity more than anything else. But over the years, we've moved in the last 3 decades, in the last 4 decades, we've moved successively from being a reactive fix it when it broke to preventive, to predictive, to perspective maintenance, intelligent maintenance, and now we're talking about strategic adapting asset management concepts and principles. Hopefully, I'm going to cover some of these issues during this evening. Now, the role of maintenance reliability and asset management teams in setting the right strategies to maintain equipment is crucial. And what is more important is that people, decision makers, in the board of directors, in senior management meetings, now realize this, realize that you really have to have maintenance and reliability ideas, concepts, issues brought to the big decision-making tables. You've got to strategize on those. And that is a big paradigm shift that we have seen during our lifetime. They play crucial in overall performance of the assets and thereby improving the availability of the plant. So what is the rationale behind GSMR Body of Knowledge, and what is the structure? And of course, it's quite legitimate. People ask, why develop your own body of knowledge? There are others that are available. Well, in the Arabian Gulf, there are issues that are probably maybe cultural issues, diversification issues, and even industrial issues that maybe apply mostly to our own region, not necessarily in the same level of degree that is being applied elsewhere. Let's talk about that a little bit. In our Arabian Gulf, organizations span a wide range of industries. A lot of people think of us as oil and gas. But in addition to that, petrochemicals, metals, electrical energy, aviation, desalination, and so more. Although oil and gas is the oldest industry in the region, over the years, other industries have progressively evolved, positioning the region as a major manufacturing and trading hub. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many of you know this, but in our small GCC, in comparison with the global map, we are the highest per capita producer, of course, of oil, gas, petrochemicals, aluminum. All of these require a lot of power generation, and hence also an electrical energy generation, desalination. Most of our water, of course, we're surrounded by sea. So in many of these industries, we top the bill in terms of highest producers per capita. Highest producers per capita. Maintenance, reliability, and asset management plays a crucial role across all these industries. Organizations in the Gulf are increasingly focusing on best maintenance, reliability, and asset management practices to meet growing global demand, which further highlights the need for a structured body of knowledge. In the process of creating the GSMR Body of Knowledge, a focus was placed on all aspects. We tried to put everything together, from strategy to execution to performance monitoring to leadership and development to shutdowns to inventory management, all the issues, CMMS, EAMs, the technological advancement. We tried to cover everything in this body of knowledge, everything that the professional and the organization needs to know about maintenance, reliability, and asset management. From addressing the basics of world-class maintenance to creating a reliability culture in the organization. Stress was also placed on fostering synergy among all the stakeholders in the organization to realize value from assets through a systematic asset management centered organization. To achieve best-in-class maintenance, reliability, and asset management performance, the GSMR Body of Knowledge is based on 5 pillars, which I will talk about also of their elements, with emphasis on covering the asset life cycle from cradle to grave. Each pillar is covered by definition, scope, objectives, artifacts, produced or used in relation, as well as standards. We have loads of standards and references in the document. So all the way from cradle to grave, from where you create, acquire, and strategize to purchase your projects and assets, through the operate and maintain, through the renew and dispose, all the way to the end of the asset life. We try to capture the best practices in these different life cycles of the asset. There are many international standards and books we use as references for developing this document to ensure relevance and compliance with the best practices. As I said earlier, there are 5 pillars. Pillar number 1, maintenance, reliability, and asset management strategy. Pillar number 2, asset reliability. Pillar number 3, maintenance work processes. Pillar number 4, systems and technologies. And pillar number 5, people and leadership. Now, I have about 30-odd minutes to run through this, so obviously I'm going to only name the pillars and name the elements associated with each pillar, and we'll leave maybe if there are opportunities for discussions for the Q&A. But we have planned to have a full day workshop during MaintCon to have more opportunity to talk about these pillars and the elements. It's going to be on 27th, and I welcome you to participate, and we can all learn from each other in that. Also, as part of passing on this very important knowledge, GSMR is planning to, starting from next year, to deliver 4 days workshop followed by the MARC certification exam. Just so that we make sure that the document is one thing, having it understood, implemented is obviously another thing that requires more work than just producing the document. So, what is a maintenance, reliability, asset management strategy? It refers to the creation and alignment of the maintenance, reliability, and asset management strategies, programs, and plans with the organization's vision and mission and business goals. You have to relate things to business goals. As I keep saying, you never do maintenance for the sake of maintenance. You do maintenance to achieve the goals of the organization. And you've got to relate what you do on day-to-day activities with the business goals. To achieve the organization's objectives and to maximize asset value realization, the 4 asset management fundamentals to be considered as per ISO 55000 are value, alignment, leadership, and assurance. So this pillar covers the policies and governance, guidance, overall requirements, plans, and work processes related to the strategies and plans, as well as programs for an asset, group of assets, systems, units, plants, and an organization. How many elements are there? 5 elements with this associated with this pillar. Element 1, strategy development. Element 2, maintenance, reliability, and asset management plan. Element 3, business management. Element 4, risk management. And element 5, performance management. Pillar 2, asset reliability. Of course, we have a lady reliability engineer with us. Asset reliability. The asset reliability pillar refers to all work processes that ensure assets are functioning as expected within the defined and known operating context throughout their life cycle, the whole life cycle, cradle to grave. This will allow organizations to realize their asset full value and support in achieving business objectives. The importance of ensuring asset reliability, especially to asset-intensive industries, which most of our industries are, comes from the need to maintain high levels of asset availability and risk control. Reliability and safety are similar in two important aspects. Safety and reliability are everybody's responsibility. It is not just the maintenance department responsibility to achieve high reliability. It's everybody's responsibility, same as safety. And to realize full value of safety and reliability efforts, the whole organization must be involved and engaged to improve asset reliability. They are also similar. As asset reliability improves, it is expected safety performance will also improve. There is no doubt about that. There have been many, many case studies that have actually proven those on the ground. Safety and reliability go together. Improving reliability will result in less unplanned downtime, which means less firefighting, less stress, less safety hazards. What are the elements of asset reliability? Element 1, asset creation, acquisition for reliability. So you can see it goes all the way back to the initiation of the pair. Before you even think about placing the order, you have to have your strategy established at the time you are thinking about buying or spending on the project. The best organizations have reliability teams involved with the team that is conceptualizing for buying and starting a project. Element 2, develop and review asset reliability strategies. Element 3, reliability strategy execution. Element 4, asset systems performance monitoring. Element 5, mitigate asset reliability performance efficiency. And element 6, reliability analysis. Now, maintenance work processes, what are they? The maintenance work processes, the pillar explains the values and the methodologies for adopting a maintenance work process that is designed around the concept of PDCA, Plan, Do, Check, Act, to make sure that you cover the whole cycle, to assist maintenance leaders to achieve best results from the execution and management of maintenance work. So it needs to be logical, structured, and organized process that provides a systematic approach for managing and measuring asset maintenance activities and associated costs. It's the vehicle by which all maintenance work activities are managed during the operational phase of assets in their life cycle. The overview objective of implementing a unified maintenance work process is to ensure the following: effective implementation of asset performance strategies, executing maintenance activities in accordance with EHSS standards, that is environment, health, safety, and security standards, perform maintenance activities in the optimum cost, provide and maintain up-to-date data quality for analysis, improve maintenance performance, maximize asset availability, implementation of best practices, and benchmarking. What are the elements of this pillar? Actually, this has two sets of elements. Main elements, which are 7, and they are work identification, prioritization, planning, scheduling, backlog management, and resource leveling. Element 5, work execution, documentation, work closure, and element 7, analyze and institute performance measures. There are also 3 supporting elements, and they are shutdown, turnarounds, and outages, contracts management, and Element 10, warehouse and inventory management. Pillar 4, systems and technologies. Systems and technologies pillar refers to the best-in-class utilization of technologies to ease the implementation of the maintenance and reliability work processes. They cover systems, tools that are utilized to record, analyze, improve, sustain, and control the assets data. Basically, to maximize the utilization of these in order to improve the performance of your teams and assets. So you get systems and technologies are an important part of any maintenance, reliability, and asset management program, utilizes the resources effectively and efficiently, provide data clarity and insights for better decision-making, ensure the business value achievements, and enhance the professional competency. What are the elements? 3 elements. CMMS, EAM, CMMS, of course, Computerized Maintenance Management System, EAM, Enterprise Asset Management. Element 2, Asset Performance Management, APM. Now there are organizations that actually have departments that are called APM. Element 3, Industrial Revolution 4, IR 4.0. Pillar 5, last pillar of the body of knowledge, is, of course, you cannot do any of the above things without people. So it's about people and leadership. People and leadership pillar covers qualifications, experience, skills required for the people involved in maintenance, reliability, and asset management fields to ensure the achievement of the organization's objectives. Leadership details about developing and nurturing key staff in the organization to influence a group of people by defining roles and responsibilities with clearly defined authority to take appropriate decisions and perform tasks as identified in the asset management strategy. The objective of an effective people and leadership management process includes alignment of workforce with business strategy, acquire, develop, and retain talents, improve the competency of staff involved in maintenance, reliability, and asset management, develop leadership that promotes a reliability-based culture, ensure the changes are understood and accepted at all levels, manage diversity. We all know, have a look at around you in your industry, and you just see the nature of diversity in our industries. People from different background, from different age groups, from different countries, from different knowledge base, they all put their hands together to deliver excellent results. Design organization structure for best integration of maintenance, reliability, and asset management functions, create a flexible work environment. So what are the elements of this pillar? 6 elements. Organization structure, roles and responsibilities, resource acquisition, competency management, leadership development, and rewards. Now, I talked earlier about MARC certification. MARC stands for Maintenance and Asset Reliability Certificate. We want to develop professionals that can carry this to a meaningful, result-oriented achievement in the business goals of our organizations. So we want to have people acquire that knowledge through, not of course, the training is only one aspect of it, the interactive sessions that happens during our training, which really enhance and improve the knowledge that the attendees take back with them. And that helps the guys who are certified in delivering results for their organizations. In that MARC exam, we have 110 questions. All of them are multiple choice, and the distribution of the questions in accordance with this weighting. So pillar 1 has 15% of the questions that come in the exam from this pillar, asset reliability 25%, maintenance work processes 30%, system and technologies 15%, and people and leadership 15%. I believe I am just about on time, Reem. So with that slide, ladies and gentlemen, I complete my presentation on this webinar, and I thank you very much for your joining us here, and look forward to your questions and answers, and hand over now to our moderator, Reem. Tfadali, Reem.
Thank you, Mr. Hussein, for this wonderful presentation. So now it's time for a Q&A session. Our two panelists are Mr. Hussein and Mr. Nader. So first, to introduce Mr. Nader. Mr. Nader is the CEO of TLD Arabia Services and the board member of the Gulf Society for Maintenance and Reliability, GSMR. So I'll be kicking the first question. First question, I will hand it to Mr. Nader. Mr. Nader, why GSMR decided to develop a new certification while there are other existing certifications?
طيب, السلام عليكم. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Rima. Thank you, Anne. Maybe first off, it's very nice to see women and ladies promoting this and getting into this industry. Yesterday, there was an interesting webinar mentoring the next generation of women leaders. So it's great to see women adding value to the industry as well. Second, thank you, Hussein. It's always an honor and pleasure to hear from you. And I'd like to thank you and the team who worked on developing the body of knowledge. It was really a great project, and I was honored to work with you and the team in developing this great body of knowledge, working with experts and practitioners in this field. With many of them have more than 15, 20 years of experience in this field. I would also like to stress on the what you mentioned, Mr. Hussein, about the MANTCON. The event is a flagship event for GSMR and for the globe when it comes to maintenance and reliability. There are great agenda for the event, over 100 sponsors, over 70 papers, 8 keynote speakers. So I urge everybody to register for the event, and also to register for the MARC certification, as we are introducing this for the first time in the region, the Maintenance and Asset Reliability certification, and hopefully you will be among the first to receive these certifications. Now back to your question, Rima, why developing something while there are other existing ones? Well, definitely, I think it's an overdue project for GSMR. GSMR has been in the industry, as Hussein mentioned, for more than 10 years now. And as we can see in the industry and the existing certification and programs and entities, when you see and analyze the candidates in this industry and who are taking these certifications, you would be surprised that a significant portion, and more than 40 and 50% of those candidates are from the Gulf region. Now, this raises a big flag for GSMR that it's really due time for us to develop something for the region, especially for the specific for the industries that we have in the Gulf region, and for the practitioners in the region, since we are a majority for those existing programs. So the body of knowledge was developed, and accordingly we developed something that helps us assess the qualification of the candidates when it comes to maintenance, reliability, and asset management. So that was a main reason for GSMR to proceed with this project, and inshallah soon we'll see the launch of this by end of this month during the MANTCON to launch the MARC certification. Back to you, Reem.
So we have another question from Mishal. Mishal is asking, as you all know, the importance of major oil and gas facilities shut down for required T&I and periodic maintenance. Does GSMR have a plan to found international certification for T&I director, T&I engineer, and T&I planners? This question I will handle it to Mr. Hussein.
Well, probably actually it's best handled by Nader. He's a board member, so they are discussing whether we are going to undertake new ventures. I mean, Mishal is asking about the new venture. Are we going to have specific certification in TNI? So quite politely, I push it over to Nader.
Fair enough, Abu Ali. يعني, the team has done, and especially led by Hussein, to develop a specific scope related to TNI in the body of knowledge. So under pillar 3, there is a specific element for TNI, and we understand the importance of TNI, not only for the oil and gas, by the way, for many industries. Shutdown and turnarounds are very crucial part of the operation and maintenance of any plant. So that part was covered in a good detail, I would say. Now, having a specific certification is not yet in the plan. We will take it a step by step, developing the body of knowledge and a general certification for the total maintenance, reliability, and risk management concept. And maybe we'll consider this in the future to have a dedicated sessions or a dedicated certifications for each specific major elements. I think it's a good idea, but I think it's too early now. We'll take it step by step. We have seen this maybe also at a higher level when it comes to KAMA and their certification. They are now introducing specifics for engineers, for professionals. So we'll follow through with these kind of specifications when it comes to a specific certification.
Okay, we have another question from Anas. Anas is asking, is there certification following international certifying bodies like ANCI?
طبعا, yes, definitely we are MARC certification. We are in the process of getting this accredited through ANSI and other NACE and other related certification bodies. As to do this, it takes time. So we first launch the examination, launch the certification itself, and then it takes maybe 2 or 3 cycles of certification until we'll be able to have this accredited. So it is in the process. We're doing this in parallel, and it's in the plan. Hopefully, inshallah, sometimes by mid of next year, we'll have MARC be accredited. Now, as we speak, some of the existing and famous renowned certifications that we're familiar with in the Gulf region have been introduced, and they're not accredited yet, even though they have been in the industry for more than 3 years now.
Okay, thank you. We have another from Jennifer. She's asking how understanding and using the body of knowledge can accelerate an organization reliability improvement.
Okay, I guess, can I take that, Abu Ahmed? Yeah, of course, as I try to explain, developing the document is one thing. How hard, how difficult, how gruesome, but that's just really the start. Now, transforming this document into the minds and hearts of the doers like yourself, Reem, and your colleagues, who will actually be on the floor to apply this knowledge, requires, of course, a lot more effort than just developing the document. How are we going to handle this? Of course, as I mentioned earlier, since 2012, we've been working to develop the knowledge base of the professionals. We've been working with them through interactive. All of our programs are interactive. Interactive means you really, as a candidate, have to give and take in the discussions. And this is the best known training methodology, coaching and training methodology. The best is when you have challenging questions that are thrown at you from people who are practicing in the fields to come up with solutions to real life problems. So the journey is just started and we've got a long way to go. Hopefully there's going to be, and the first, of course, is a one-day workshop that I mentioned during MainCon, which I hope to be able to have some good discussions about the topics that are covered in our body of knowledge. But then from next year onward, we hope to have more training, more people setting the exams. And that is the beauty of it. Setting the exam signifies the level of understanding of the concepts. But level of understanding is one thing. The application of understand, that this comes from the interactive discussions. I believe that's at least my viewpoint, and I know it's been shared by many board members across the years in GSMR. Back to you, Rima.
Thank you. And we have a question from Latifa. She's asking, what's the difference between the two types of backlog?
Okay, we're getting into some technical questions. Good, very good. I welcome those. There are two types of backlog. Backlog that are planned and ready to be executed. Some organizations call those evergreen. What does that mean? Planned and ready and evergreen. It means that you know that this job needs to be done and you've covered yourself, you have the spare parts ready, you have your plans ready, you have everything ready, waiting for the right opportunity. Probably it's an activity that you do not want to shut the plant for, but you make yourself ready. When that opportunity comes, you go and eat it. It's one type of backlog. The other type of backlog is work that has been identified, but not planned and not made ready to be implemented. These are the two significant differences in the two type of backlog. And thank you, Latifa, for that question.
All right, we have a question from Raja. How these 5 pillars are interconnected to each other?
Yes. How, or is he asking, are they? They definitely are interconnected.
Asking how these 5 pillars are connected.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, as I tried to show, and I think the third or fourth slide, we're talking about the whole life cycle from cradle to grave. And we proportion this throughout. So the strategy part, and then the reliability that comes during design and the running part, the maintenance work processes that require the technological advancement which the world has to offer. We have to capitalize on that, and you need the people to make sure that all of these things, which cannot happen by themselves, but they need the people development in order to maximize the benefits from all of these. So in a nutshell, I guess that's how they are interlinked together. Maybe Khoibu Ahmed has some elaboration on this.
Yes, if I may add also, as Hussein mentioned, so they are covering as much as possible the whole dimensions when it comes to maintenance, reliability, and asset management. So we're talking about the strategy, the concept. We're talking about also the reliability strategies. So we take it from the asset management high level to reliability strategies, and that integrates also the strategic asset management plans, and then the execution part, which is the most crucial part when it comes to maintenance execution and how to take it from process planning, scheduling, execution, and then monitoring all of these activities. And the link to it is also what kind of systems that can complement all of these strategies and programs when it comes to reliability and maintenance. And after all, it all needs the human factor, where the leadership and the people part comes into the picture. So all of this also was developed having in each pillar the PDCA concept: plan, do, check, and adjust concept in each part of the pillars. So this is the way that we had worked to develop the body of knowledge. And it wasn't only done by improvising this, we also referenced the existing body of knowledges and the other references in the industry. So we tried not to start from scratch and reinvent the wheel. We are referencing other body of knowledge and references in this specific field.
Great. We have another question. What's the minimal requirements for taking MARC?
Ahmed?
Currently, the minimum requirement is 3 to 5 years of experience in the field. There is no qualification required in terms of diploma or bachelor degree, but the minimum at least is 3 to 5 years in the industry itself when it comes to practicing and knowing about the maintenance, reliability, and asset management. The exam or the certification is valid for 3 years, similar to others in the industry. And maybe Hussein covered more about the structure of the exam. It is 110 questions over 2 hours, and it is well balanced between the various parts of the body of knowledge.
All right, great. Khalid Reis is asking, how can we adapt body of knowledge within our industry in terms of training and practices? If you have any suggestion.
أنا بفهم السؤال. Repeat it, معلش.
He's asking, how can we adapt the body of knowledge within our industry in terms of training and practices?
طبعا the body of knowledge is a reference book. It's not a detailed process book that you take and you go and implement. It gives you the main concepts and the references for each concept, and then you will go and try to implement these concepts accordingly. We had put a lot of efforts in the execution part, especially in reliability and maintenance, and that's why you see the bigger portion of the body of knowledge is related to maintenance processes, maintenance work processes, that was led by Mr. Hussein. So as far as the training, we will have under GSMR special training for the body of knowledge to have further understanding of each pillar and how to implement it in the organizations. And I believe, Hussein, we will have the first workshop for the body of knowledge during the MANTCON also.
Yeah, during MANTCON, we will have a one-day workshop on 27th, which will help us talk a little bit more in details about the pillars. But we're planning in the training and certification committee to have our first 4 days workshop where we'll have more opportunity to discuss in more details, of course. And that really is in my mind, the crucial bit of understanding this document is the ability to interact with people at different organizations or in the same organizations who come from different backgrounds, somebody from reliability, somebody from the inventory side, someone from maintenance, and so on, to talk about real issues, planners, schedulers, and that those interactive sessions, in my mind, really bring the level of knowledge of the people. So we're planning to have that, inshallah, ready, our first workshop ready for January of next year. Jennifer is coordinating that element of it in the committee, and we hope to have that ready for them.
Okay. Sufyan is asking, if I'm certified CMRP, do I need to take the GSMR certification? If, what are the added benefits and how much the fees?
It's not about do you have to take it or not. So there is no specific requirement, as far as I know, in all the industry that you have to be CMRB certified or MARC certified, inshallah, as we are launching this, or CAMA certified. But it adds to your knowledge base, definitely. It adds to your maintenance and the field expertise, definitely. So CMRP is a certain body of knowledge that was developed under SMRP. MARC, as I mentioned, was developed catering as much as possible to the regional requirement when it comes to the different industries that are specialized here. We tried our best to have the diversity of the team from different industries, but most specifically in the oil and gas, definitely, because of its criticality. But we had several members in the group or in the team that was developing the body of knowledge, and also that was developing the certification as well. So we tried to cater for the industry's specific requirement, and this what makes maybe a little bit of variation between the other existing certification and what we're offering under MARC. And you would see this more maybe clear, I would say, during the understanding of the body of knowledge, during the workshop when it comes to what we're going to develop and present in MANTCON, to see how specific is the GSMR body of knowledge and its related MARC certification versus the others.
Yeah, I think with regards to fees, sorry, Rima, the other part about the fees, I'm not sure if at GSMR office there has already been work done on that to a level of providing an answer. But of course, that information can be made available through communicating with the GSMR office.
It is the GSMR, for GSMR members, it is $275. For non-members, it is $375.
Thank
and
you.
again, these kind of data are coming from the industry, not only from the GSMR office. They are benchmarking against existing body of knowledges and other certification that is existing, the value and the content. So it was done with consultants. It didn't come from the team only. It was a joint effort with consultants that are specialized in this kind of field.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Back.
Thank you. Zaid al-Mtairi is asking, will MARC be limited to GCC professionals?
No, of course not. We are definitely open to all the industry and all the international market. You can see this also in the MANTCON. We have more than 30 countries represented during the event. So we are a global organization. Yes, we are called Gulf because our existence and our founding members and our focus, but it's open for the international market, definitely.
Okay. Mohammed Al-Fahan is asking, regarding when a proactive approach is applicable when it comes to maintenance.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question, Rima?
Sure. Regarding when proactive approach is applicable when it comes to maintenance.
Absolutely. Actually, as I said, in the past, maintenance was reactive, not anymore. You know, if you still live in a reactive culture, then you're wasting a lot of opportunities, you're wasting a lot of money from your organization. Really, nowadays, industrial performance requires that maintenance becomes more proactive than reactive. How do we transfer the culture from reactive to proactive? Of course, that's a very long story, and it requires a lot of efforts, although from leadership, you know, top of the organization, through to the setting up the right organization structure, setting up the right mindsets. And we have seen many fantastic transformations happening over the last 2 decades, I would say, in our industries from reactive to proactive. Of course, different organizations at different levels in this transformation journey, but that journey is exciting, it's beneficial, and it is a journey that really we should all together promote to have in our industries. It's no longer acceptable now to continuously live in a reactive culture. Reactive culture means more safety hazards, more injuries to people, more loss to the organizations, more waste to the environment, you know? So obviously we want to get away from these old habits into utilizing predictive maintenance tools, utilizing and adapting planning and scheduling techniques to help the organization transform from reactive to proactive.
Thank you. Abdullah is asking, can GSMR perform training like RCA leader and facilitators? And can GSMR perform some studies like RCM?
And هذا تخصصك يا ابو
Well, GSMR is a makeup of members like yourselves. You know, if our board of directors takes on a certain initiative, we're going to have to make up a team that studies that initiative to bring it about. At the moment, we're not really, as GSMR, engaged in doing specific studies like that at the moment. But we do run courses on reliability-centered maintenance. We do run courses on root cause analysis. We have courses about shutdown maintenance, planning and scheduling maintenance, effective maintenance management, and the certification. So we have a large range of programs, training programs delivered by people who have spent their life in the fields. So it's not just from academic standpoint, but an integration of academic as well as hard and field experiences to bring value to these training workshops. I hope I answered the question.
Hussein is asking, who are you targeting to obtain MARC?
Ahmed?
So the certification, we're targeting the same audience that are in the field of maintenance, reliability management, the practitioners, the leaders who are eager to implement new strategies when it comes to maintenance and asset management. As you know, the industry is evolving, as shown by Mr. Hussein, how we move from maintenance industry 1.0 to now the development to reliability, asset management concepts, and the full life cycle of the assets rather than one stage of the life of the asset. So we're targeting the leaders who are passionate about implementing these concepts and evolving in this industry. The practitioners definitely who are in the either reliability engineers, maintenance managers, and all those who are very much in executing these strategies as well.
Okay. Qusay is asking, is there a plan to do an agreement with Gulf institutes for asset management training certification?
طبعا the strategy that GSMR has been taking through the years is to partner with to have strategic partnerships with the major players in this industry. As Hussein mentioned, in the history of GSMR, we started with the WPIAM, the world partners in asset management. We are also partners with the GFMAM. So we are targeting these global partners. And locally now in the region, this is something that we'll see how it fits when it comes to training maybe. and how they can provide training related to the related fields, especially with the concept that we have in the body of knowledge. So it is not off the table, but currently the offering that GSMR has and the strategy that GSMR has is to promote the knowledge and have a hub of knowledge shared by everybody. So it could be part of if there are existing parties in the industry, in the region, definitely it could be linked to, and we could have partnership with them as well.
Okay, thank you. Nigel Falh is asking, how reliability engineer developed them in this batch, or this batch, sorry.
عيدي معلش السؤال.
How reliability engineer developed in that pitch?
Shall I try and take that, Abu Ahmed?
Okay.
Well, like any other discipline, reliability engineer or maintenance engineer or TNI engineer or inspection, engineer, they need to be trained. They need to have continuous training, especially in this era where things are changing so rapidly. I mean, look at the technological advancements, for example, in the predictive maintenance tools now. In the past, you have, let's say, sensors that monitor the vibration. Now you have sensors that predict vibration before it happens, not just reacts to it happening. And so lots of developments. Now, how do people keep up with that if they don't get trained, if they don't get exposed? So training is obviously an important element. Best learning is through actually doing the work, being coached in doing the work, and the best way of doing the work. Now, I'm a great believer into a process of training that basically extends over a duration of time. When you've got a new guy coming from university, he has not seen a lot of industries. He has to spend time to read about what it is that he's going to do. And next phase, he has to see this, to see others doing, and he's watching, he or she, of course, now watching. Then the third phase is that he and she does the work under the eye of a mentor that makes sure that he's not doing something to harm himself or harm the environment. And then the fourth phase is when he or she can do things alone. So it has to go through a number of phases in any field, be it reliability engineer, TNI, any of these. I think it's important that you have to carry the people with you. If you want to develop competence, competence takes a journey. There is no way that somebody who comes from university and from tomorrow he can do and he cannot. So I don't know if I was able to answer this, but of course, training is very close to my heart, and it is a thing that I hope to add value into the question, into the answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hussein. I see we exceeded the time, so thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Hussein and Mr. Nader, for this session. Thank you, everyone. I will handle the mic to Ain.
Thank you, Rima.
We want to thank everybody. Thank you, everybody, for such a wonderful evening and for staying with us to learn more about the GSMR Body of Knowledge and also how to get MARC certified. And I would like to thank Engineer Nader and his team, the BoK champions and the BoK team. And of course, I would like to thank the GSMR. Since we are talking about the GSMR Body of Knowledge, I'd like to thank, of course, the GSMR staff, Ms. Jennifer Joseph, Ms. Najma Habib, and of course, Mr. Jassim Yusuf. And with that, tonight, actually, it's one of the most special events that we have. And we have a special comment from Mr. Nader that he would like to close the webinar he would like to close the webinar by answering how MARC was developed. So, Mr. Nader, before we say goodnight, I would like please tell us how MARC was developed.
Well, I think everybody's leaving now, so give me the hardest part. But it's very important, really, for all the audience to understand how the certification was developed. As we mentioned earlier, why it was developed, but how is also very important. We have engaged as many members as possible when it comes to the different industries. So the certification came after conducting a detailed survey that was shared with many members from different industries. We have approached the expertise in different fields when it comes to reliability, to asset management, to maintenance, to leadership. We have also engaged a consultant that are familiar with developing such kind of question banks and questions, answers, the STEM, how it's developed, and how to benchmark the questions with and the whole question banks with other certifications that are existing. The consultant that we have is familiar with existing certifications, so the way that the questions that have been developed by the expertise was reviewed by the consultant, and then back to the team to review and adjust the questions as needed. We also went through, and we're going as we speak, to different testing of the questions with selected candidates to see the difficulties of the questions and what how the answers are coming in terms of analyzing the statistics of answering each question. So developing the whole certification went through a detailed process with the support of consultants and the support of a team and expertise from the field and from the industry and from the region. And this is what makes MARC certification unique to the region, and unique because it's tailored to our region, definitely. With this, I urge everybody to register to the MainCon event and hopefully register to the MARC certification, inshallah. That's going to happen during the event between 27th and 30th of November. And hopefully we'll see you there, inshallah, in a couple of weeks. And thanks for the team and thanks for the attendees. And wish you a good night.
Thank you very much for sharing this evening with us. Once again, a good night. Follow GSMR Society on our social media to learn more about events. Thank you, everybody.
Good night, and thank you.
Bye.
Have a nice
Good night.
evening. Bye-bye.